Hey guys, how you doing? We gotta talk about something, all right? What we gotta talk about is China, all right? China thinks that they can do whatever the hell they want in Southeast Asia. You know what's crazy? All right, this border dispute where China's trying to build a road, and Bhutan's like, hey bud, this is our area, and Bhutan and India are super close. And India and Bhutan are like, hey China, you can't just do stuff like this. Just kind of like where they're violating Japanese airspace, Japanese waters, and Japan is like, hey China, you can't do stuff like this. And China's like, we can do whatever the hell we want. Do you guys not understand who the hell we are? We're the powerhouse here, dog. All right? So what we're seeing is China's army is mobilizing different military assets in Tibet, which is not far from where the standoff is happening in the Deccan region between China, India, and Bhutan. Really, not really Bhutan, because their military is basically nothing. India has a treaty with them that they come to their defense if need be. Bhutan doesn't even have an air force. In fact, their air force, like air power, is supposed to be come from India specifically. But basically, what we're seeing in this standoff, it's past the 30-day mark. This is the longest standoff that we've seen, between India and China. And we got Chinese mainstream media, their propaganda machine, coming out and stating, hey, China and they might go to war over this. And it's just, this started out with China building a road and bulldozing 2 Indian bunkers. This is how it started. And ever since, we've had thousands of troops on each side just kind of staring at each other, rifles down, nothing too provocative. They've been talking to each other. They've been saying fighting words and all that jazz, but we haven't seen any casualties as of yet. What's funny though? Pakistan media, different media outlets of Pakistan stated that China, there was rocket fire that hit India. And at first, when I saw that, I was like, oh man, that's pretty nuts. And then if you looked more into it, both India and China both said this never happened. The standoff's still going on, but this didn't occur. And then they both came out and they stated that Pakistan kind of was just blowing smoke and putting out fake news. But it pissed a lot of people off. And a lot of people in India are, a little angry because China currently has a lot of different tanks, other military equipment, ground vehicles in this Tibet region that it would only take them a few hours to get to the Deccan region if stuff was to pop off. And so it definitely looks like an invasion force, and China's painting India as this aggressor. Their propaganda media machine is painting India as the aggressor here. But China's the one mobilizing the army very close to the Indian border. So I know we made a video about this literally a day ago. We talked about how China did the live fire exercises. We talked about how China had different military equipment in the area. But I need to stress how serious this is, because both sides have stated they will not back down. These are two. Honestly, this is up there with the whole North Korea crisis that's going on, because these are two nuclear powers that are kind of at each other's throat here over what seems to be a pretty simple territorial dispute. This is a little insane to me. But India said, hey, listen, we're not backing down from China, which, props to them. Props to them, because China came out and was just like, hey, we don't want this to be another 1962, which India lost that war against China. But this is insane. Props to India for standing up, because China thinks that, we're the big dog in the area, and no one's going to screw with us. And that's how they've been acting with every country in that region. But guys, we're going to have to see how this goes as more information comes out. We'll discuss it. We'll talk about it, guys. All right, make sure to check back, guys. All right, make sure to check back, because we're always on top of things. All right, we're here for you. This is information you need to know.